Hello. Do I know what I'm doing? Definitely not. I am currently talking to my phone on a stand in my sort of dining room of my apartment with, we'll see how this goes. I should stop rambling. But I am mildly gothic, as have been newly dubbed since this is my first video. I have a history on Instagram of posting special effects makeups under a different account name that I've probably changed by now, but I had an idea for today, and it involves these flowers. If I feel like it, I might put a picture of the inspiration up, but what we're going to try to do today is do a tutorial slash demonstration of sticking flowers to my face. So we'll see how that goes. I have no experience recording or doing videos, so this is completely new, and we'll see how this goes. But if you've clicked on this video, don't know how you got here, but thank you for tuning in. And off to make this happen. So the materials that I have, I've got two of these very large flowers. I've got this one small one, and I've got these two little buds, and then a variety of large leaves and sticks. We're gonna see how this goes. Unfortunately, most of these are scraps that are left over from a different project that I did. A really cool headdress piece that I'll probably show later. But, so this is what we got to work with, and let's go see what we can do. So, we're gonna figure out the sound. Probably most of it will end up being a voiceover, depending on how things work out. There's a little bit of prep that's going on. I didn't want the green at the base. These are glued together, I couldn't separate them. But I cut the stem off and now the whole thing's coming apart. So I'm gonna hot glue the base just a little bit on these two guys. Probably some of the other ones. And then I'll probably start getting to basing and trying to figure out how this is gonna all work out. So, time for prep. Oh, that's gonna look fucking... That's probably better. Maybe eventually I'll get advanced enough and I'll have two cameras. One, so you can see the chaos that I'm working with, and two, so you can see me what I'm doing. I've got my brushes here. I've got a variety of things that I've picked up over the years of things. I've got a bruise wheel, got a bottle of liquid latex, brushes that definitely aren't supposed to be used for this purpose, but they've been used for everything from painting to normal makeup to this, you know, latex. Some of them have been ruined. RIP, they're in the trash, unfortunately, because fun fact, liquid latex ruins things. If it gets on things that it's not supposed to get on. It's very sticky. I don't know how much I'm going to be talking during this, so this might be where voiceover comes in. And again, we trust in the process. There's not much I can do about it at this point. So we're going to get started, I guess.
So now it's time to get started. So the first thing that I'm doing is putting a base of liquid latex down, and once that base layer is tacky, I'm putting a tissue on top of it and trying to get those edges sealed with latex so it stays where I want it, and then I'm putting more liquid latex on top so that I can form a nice base layer, so that I can paint over it more easily and then actually get it to do the skin rip that I'll explain later in the video.
Fun fact, latex is sticky. Video can currently see what I'm doing. I'm attempting to work with this one now. Yeah, I use my hands for most of this. I've yet to find a more efficient way because latex gets everywhere and I'm tired of ruining brushes. So, you know, probably could look online for an answer. Just haven't done that because 1, this is fun and I get to make a mess. And 2, I'm in my own apartment, and so even if you want to say something about it, I don't care. Fun fact. So, you know, that's just how it goes.
This is just the fun bit of me trying to get this vine to stick to my neck, which it didn't really want to do.
Would not recommend getting latex stuck in your hair. Not currently sure what's happening. We're gonna figure it out. Currently I'm just making little latex scrumbles. That's a word. Why did half of, oh, there you go. Oh, now you're sticking. Oh. Okay, it's a... See, I know what I'm doing. Fun fact, no I don't. Still not sure how this is going to turn out. And I would like you to stay stuck to my throat, please. And thank you. So the thought is to try to nestle the flower inside of the ripped skin. And we'll see whether or not what I'm thinking for this part is a good idea, because my hope is to put the large patch and then to be able to rip it in some fashion. And if I cannot, then I will just have to latex some tissues and then like pretend that they were ripped. Either way, I'm gonna end up with something here that I can probably use, whether it's the hole or the actual rips themselves. Yet to be seen. This is staying surprisingly well. Even with talking. Look at that. I'm gonna make you look all red and gross in a minute.
This is me beginning the process of making the skin rip and then arguing with myself and realizing that I probably should start basing it out in foundation first before I actually turn it into the skin rips.
So it doesn't really have to look perfect, especially because this is the skin rip part, so it's probably gonna end up super discolored later, but I do need it to not look white. Oh, don't you love seeing how much my skin hates having liquid latex on it? Ooh, that one's good. Yes, be disgusting. Oh, look, skin being torn away. Coming together, she says with a flower pressed against her face in a vine. I know what I'm doing. Don't at me. Okay, we should get the other vine on. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm gonna do something different for the large flower because I'm gonna be dealing with my eyebrows, so I'm more just going to apply it and then probably, we'll see how it goes. But theoretically, the smaller one is like just bursting through my skin and the bigger one is like, oh, I'm here. So maybe that one doesn't need the skin rips, but either way, I got another vine. I was gonna do leaves. I don't know if we're gonna get to the leaves.
This is time for Vines Part 2. This time, the vine actually stuck a little bit better because I waited until the latex on the vine was sticky or tacky before applying it to my face, and you can see that I'm adding some more latex to fill in some of those gaps. I added some pieces of tissue where it was puffing off of my face to make it stick better, and in general, just trying to get it to sit where I wanted and actually stay adhered. So I realized while editing that I never explained how I actually got the flowers to stick to my face. Well, latex loves to stick to itself when it's sticky, and I wasn't too sure that the flower would actually absorb the latex, so I put latex on the back of the fake flower, and then put some tissue on top of that to serve as an extra layer. Put more latex on top of that, and then put latex on my face. So then I took the flower, stuck it to my face when they were both tacky, and it stayed just like glue.
That works surprisingly well.
So what I'm starting here is adding a lot of the discoloration, which I did with the bruise wheel and the brightest red that they have, because in my head a lot of this was new irritation, and so I didn't really need any of the greens or yellows. I just needed the more bright red irritation, and I blended that out with some foundation.
I'm already impressed with myself, so like I don't really care what anybody else thinks at this point. I'm already impressed with myself. I got a fake flower to stick to my face, and fake vine things that are actually the stems of leaves. I really did not expect. I mean, seriously, they just peel off. I didn't expect them to be that easy. Anyways, probably shouldn't get too loud considering it's super echoey in here, and there's stuff in here. I have a whole big makeup kit that's currently in pieces on the floor around me, so. Okay, hi. So in order to make sure that it actually looks like it's coming from inside of my face, I'm gonna try to color in the inside of like where it's around the rose before it gets to the flower, black. A lot of the palettes, so this is a bruise wheel from Mehron Makeup, don't know if I'm saying that right, and most of the other discs I have are Diamond FX. The Diamond FX, I just kind of happened to accidentally buy it on Amazon and I ended up really liking it for one of the first looks that I ever did. And so I just kind of stuck with it after. And again, I can't see that side of my face, so I'm gonna pretend it doesn't exist. Just like with all of my problems. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. So there's this plastic piece inside this flower, and so that's what I'm currently trying to cover. And also I guess trying to give the flower a little bit more dimension. I'm also probably gonna add some fake blood to it in a second, try to rough it up.
Now it's time to finish the little bit of that black detail and really start getting to basing the foundation of the other side. Once I got the foundation base done for the vine, I decided to just go ahead and base out the rest of my face in a light layer of foundation to make the rest of things a little bit easier.
Okay. I also always try to do the part that's most visible on my face last, so that way if I mess up over here, I can learn and fix it over here, so that way I just don't have to show this part in pictures as much, you know? That's called thinking ahead. It's also called I have no preparation and no idea really what I'm doing, so, you know, take that as you will.
Time to add irritation times 2 electric boogaloo. And again, let's blend that out to make sure it all looks nice and smooth.
I guess the goal with this one is to look beautifully painted. Because I'm turning into a flower, so I should be pretty, but I'm also turning into a flower. And last I checked, that's not painless. So, I really should stop caving that.
I spent so long trying to figure out the best way to get this red flower to sit on my face, how I wanted the petals. I was squeezing it, bending it, breaking it. Eventually ended up with something that I was happy with, but it definitely took a minute.
Can you tell that I haven't planned up to this point and that's why I did everything else before this? Maybe that means I should have done this one first. Too late for that.
And yet more flower placement struggles. I got a little distracted with the flower, wanted to put some more irritation on, blend that out, and then eventually I went back to trying to figure out how to get that big flower to sit on my face, which I kept messing with and will continue to mess with until it eventually gets applied. Now it's time for the skin rip for the big flower. I did this the exact same method that I used for the small one.
Yes, those of you wondering, I way too often get my hair in this and then regret it later, so, you know. But that's not the point of today. Or right now, it will be the point of today later, but that's not the current issue. The current issue is getting this on my face and latex on the edges so that when I put foundation on it, it doesn't do the thing that tissue does, which is go very, very fluffy and useless. So, all right.
So really here, the latex is dry, so now it's time for a little foundation before I move on.
And I think my brushes are actually clean. So I tend to get very close to my mirror for this, so I'm not entirely sure how this is gonna go as far as filming it, but you know, we'll see. And no, I have no plan for what's happening.
And so now it's time to start the eyeshadow. Since I didn't know what my plan was going to be, I decided to just start with a very dark black in the crease, and I was going to figure it out from there. Beauty makeup is the one area where I'd say I have the least experience, but I always still think it comes out pretty decently.
Again, welcome to the world of chaos, where I'm not a professional and you've signed up for whatever the hell is happening. No refunds. I mean, you could always just, like, leave. So, I get, but you're not gonna get your time back. That's for sure.
I was initially worried that red was going to be too much, but I then decided that that was the color I wanted to go with, and so I picked a nice solid red for the main lid of my eye, and you can see me blending that, and I also chose a nice raspberry, darker kind of red to be that blending barrier between the black and the red on my lid. I then took that same dark raspberry color and put that under my eye. I always like that nice halo, you know, under the lower lash line as well.
Pro tip, try not to get eyeshadow in your eye. In reality, if I'm saying it as a pro tip, it should probably be common sense. Just saying. But considering I don't know who's watching this video, I don't know what kind of sense you do or do not have. So, welcome. Because apparently I have none.
A little bit more general blending, but the final touch for the eye makeup is I found a nice lighter shimmery red and a other just light shimmer color, and I put those on the inner corner of my eye to help brighten it up. I will say the one thing I forgot was eyeliner and mascara, but I think that was because I was so excited with how the flower part of this makeup ended up looking. And please ignore the sneezes.
What's happening? I don't know. Is it a shape? I got a B in geometry.
The blending is never done, and even though I forgot eyeliner and mascara, I somehow remembered to fill my eyebrows in with some powder, so oh well.
I think that looks pretty good. We just kind of got like a nice dark red. I've got a really cute lipstick that we're gonna do in a second. Down to the floor. I have no space to do things. Okay, so back to this nonsense. Let's get some good stipple action. This isn't stippling, this is just coloration. The one thing you have to be careful with tissue, especially if you're putting it in a super visible location, is texture, because it'll keep the texture quite well. So if you want to avoid that, then you gotta be careful.
So here I'm starting to lift up that large skin rip to try to make something out of it. Unlike the one before where I needed a hole in the center, I'm just lifting and pulling this one to the other side and trying to get that flower to again sit situate itself within the area that I've predefined. I also decided that for this one it was going to be a lot easier to fill in that black detail before I actually put the flower down onto my face.
Oh, you're coming off. That's not what you're supposed to do. Alright, whatever. It's a skin rip. 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 Okay. While we're at it, I'm gonna try to get in some more irritation to the wound. Let's actually go for stipple.
So a technique often used in special effects makeup is stippling, and this can be done with colors or blood. You'll see me do it with both. When you're doing it with different colors, it's often used to make something that's almost skin tone color look like it's actually skin, because no skin surface is completely one tone. It's stippled with other colors, and so taking a random tan surface and adding those colors can help make it look more realistic. And then I'm blending some of that out, which was arguably a good and or bad idea. I also had the great idea to try to paint some other small vines on, and eventually just ended up not liking the way it looks and completely getting rid of all of them.
Nah. You know, sometimes it's okay to go back on an idea.
So then I decided to blend out those vines that I ended up not liking. And I'm taking the pointy end of a makeup brush and adding some other color and some more definition to the vines that are already on my face. This process is usually just a back and forth of stippling and blending and sponges and just trying to balance all the colors so that it looks somewhat kind of a realistic and, you know, detailed and interesting. And at the end of it all, I get to fight with my nemesis, the large red flower.
Don't be concerned for my baby hairs. I've pulled them out accidentally before. Because of latex, so. This is a large flower, not a very large surface area to get it to stick to, so. We're kind of hoping for the best, to be honest. And as long as it lasts for me to take some pictures, I am okay with that. Alright, I think it's time for the moment of truth. Are you ready? I can't see or tell.
Now we're just waiting for that latex to dry, squishing it, making sure it's in there, and then messing with the petals to get it situated.
You would think I would be prepared. I didn't have the fake blood ready. So here we go. So I will also say, I've noticed in comparison to some makeup channels that exist, or like, you know, videos that I've watched, I think on average I tend to put less blood. I'm not entirely sure why.
The stippling brush emerges once again for some fake blood, and here I'm squirting the demon's blood, trying to get it in the flower, around the outside, trying to get some interesting blood drips going on to just add a little bit of that gore and more detail to the look.
So this is demon's blood. This is the darkest fake blood, I think. At least they advertise themselves as the darkest fake blood on the market. So if you're planning to use it, To the best of my knowledge with how I've used it, it doesn't come out of clothes. So I say as I get it on, at least this is a black shirt. I love how I say I don't get it on clothes and I'm getting it all over the shirt. Guess who is a new makeup shirt? I typically do this in tank tops, but I didn't really want to do that for YouTube because, you know, people, you know, and things.
What can I say? Except it's more fake blood.
Yes, I'm using the back of a paintbrush to apply fake blood to my face. If it works, it's not stupid. There's a life lesson.
I believe it's worth stating that there are a variety of types of fake blood that you can buy. I pretty much have what's known as vampire or stage blood, which is not super thick. You can also get coagulated blood, wound filler, and some other things to add more detail and make things look a little more realistic.
I'm very messy with this today, apparently. I'm usually a lot better at it. I feel like the soul of a flamenco dancer has tried to inhabit my body, and I said no, and this was the result. I don't know why as soon as I try to record a video, I've apparently never put lipstick on before in my life. You know what, it was better before I fixed it, but it looks okay now. So, this is a hair up or hair down? I kind of feel like this is a hair up look. Thoughts? I'm not entirely sure how long this took. It's been a hot minute. Anyone else getting the flamenco dancer position? I don't how do flamenco dancers. But here we are. So, if you tuned in, thanks for watching. I'm not entirely sure what this was, but I've been wanting to do this look for a while, and so I figured this was a good one to start with. I'm not just planning to do SFX makeup. That's a lot of what I'll probably do because it's fun to kind of record the whole process. I do a lot of other crafty things to it. I'm hoping that I can just kind of dump all of what I do over here. So if you're interested in mildly chaotic, crafty, artsy things that probably air on this side of the world, feel free to subscribe. I'm not sure what this is going to look like, but at least give me a like. Let me know that you were here. Again, don't know what I'm doing, but I hope whatever this turned out to be was at least entertaining, and I sincerely